everyone, and welcome to my next series. In this series, we're going to be demolishing an old grain bin. That one, wherever, right over there. And yeah, it's got a lot of good lumber in it. The guy that gave it to me, I did some work for him before in the fall and just got talking, and he said, yeah, there's a lot of he just bought this property, so there's a lot of buildings out here that he doesn't want anymore and he's just going to tear down anyways. So I pretty much have all winter and summer, I think he said, to take this down, but I don't think it'll take us too long. We're going to have a little bit of a stretch of good weather here. But first we have to plow some snow. Danny's just getting that all set up. So yeah, I'll get this machine started up. So now that we got a path in here, that was a lot of snow to plow through. This is the bin that we're taking down. So I got Danny starting to pull screws. It's all metal on the outside, which is nice. This is, fairly nice metal. I mean, there's some spots at the bottom that are kind of dented, but a lot of it's good low rib steel yet. And then on the inside, I'll have to pull the hinges off. I should have just ripped that off with the skid steer. In here, you gotta watch out for all these rods or you'll trip on them. But I don't know what the lighting on the camera is pretty good. Lots of good 2x6s in here, and a lot of shiplap sheathing too. So yeah, there's no cedar shingles on the roof, no little nails that we'll have to pull. Really just the nails in the shiplap, which will be a lot of work. And this roof isn't entirely that steep either. Might be it's hard to tell from this angle, but 612 maybe? It shouldn't be that bad. Get out of here. But yeah, looks like maybe an 812. I don't know. It's not like some of those bins where the roof's a 1012 or so. And it's supposed to get pretty warm here, so I'm thinking a lot of that snow is gonna melt off, and then it'll be easy enough to walk on, I think. So yeah. Now back out here, I brought the job trailer, and Danny has made some pretty good headway on the screws up front. Got all these off and made a good but bad discovery. There's actually 2 layers of siding. So there's this old Dutch lap siding, and then underneath that there's shiplap. So that's twice as much work for me, but I do get some nice old siding out of the deal, so there's that, I guess. All right, now back inside, I was thinking we were gonna have to, I guess these bars here we'll have to cut, but these ones have got pins that you can just pull, so that'll be easy enough. These ones I don't think are like that. There's something here. Yeah, no, they just go right to the outside. I guess I could try pulling the nuts off first and just seeing what happens there, but I'll pull all these pins. Now I suppose I could explain what the purpose of these bars are, if you don't already know. So with these wooden bins, they just get filled straight with grain. They put the auger up there and just dump the grain right in here. And grain sort of acts more liquid than a solid. So it's going to want to push these walls out, and if you don't have these rods and the whalers on the outside, your bin will just explode because it won't be able to handle the pressure of all the grain in here. So that's what all these tie rods are for, just to hold all the walls together. But now that the building's empty, it'll be perfectly fine to pull them out. All right, so I came up with a nifty idea here on how to keep these from spinning. So I just take my cat's paw, rest it against there, and then when I turn on it, it won't spin. Got one whaler off already. Just gotta pull those out of there. And then yeah, I can come out here and spin that off. But like I was saying to Danny, even just these whalers are gonna be nice salvage lumber. 4x6, oh, probably 20 feet long. And then these are tested on there pretty good, but they come off. So just on the other side, cutting the rods out. And I just had to show you guys, look at these beautiful fir beams. These are unpainted. You could sand those up a little bit and use those in a finish application in a house or something. Have some exposed beams. I'll definitely be setting those ones in a safe place for any future builds I might do. Should have used those in the saloon. I suppose I still could put some, you know, fake beams in there, stain them up. But yeah, coming along. Well, we're calling it a day for today. We got a lot of the rods cut out and whalers off. So me and Garrett will be back tomorrow to continue. So back here the next morning, I brought some of my trestles and another light for the other side. The trestles just so I can have somebody set up on them, pounding nails out of boards if necessary. And yeah, I guess we'll start cutting rods again. So now I've started pulling nails on this partition wall. I kind of want to get this down first before I start doing too much on the outside, just because, you know, if we take the outside walls down, then this thing will probably just tip over. But then it'll open up the space between the two sides. From up here, you sort of get a better idea of the building, but there's still a lot of grain and stuff up in here. Could probably get a few bushels, I imagine. But anyways, I'll keep pulling nails. These are coming actually really easy. All the wood is nice and dry, so they basically just fall out. They're just smooth shank nails. They're not Ardocs or anything. So now I've decided to come work on the roof. So here's my tie-off method for the roof. Definitely not OH&S approved, but I feel safe. I got my positioning belt on, and then I just got a rope that can slide back and forth, so that way I can just shimmy along and move the screws, and then I just drop myself down and do another couple rows. So this is about as efficient as you can get on an icy roof and still be safe. missed 2 screws, one there, one up there, I can see in these last 2 panels. So I'm gonna have to go back up there, harness up and rappel back down just to get those 2 screws. Frustrating, but I guess it's what you gotta do. I'll see what I want to work on next though. I might let this snow melt off just so it's not so sketchy. I could start pulling nails up there and get that going. Maybe I'll give that a try. Now I got a little ways. It doesn't look like much from down here, but there's quite a few boards off the top row there. I don't know. That probably took me a couple hours to do. So I'd say, you know, it'd be a full day or more per side, which is sort of what I expected. But I'm gonna move over to the other side because I started stacking the tin. So I want to get all these, you know, on one pallet. And then I'll probably have room on this side of the trailer for another pallet of the low rib stuff. I'll put them separately because that's a different profile on the walls than on the roof. But then I'll run this home, unload it. Not sure where I'm gonna put all this stuff, but we'll find a spot. Well, that was a fairly productive day. Got all the metal off and some boards off the other side, some boards off the inside. So, yeah. All right, now I'm back out here after a little while off. It got cold and windy again, and the wind did a lot of the work for us, but unfortunately that means, you know, the majority of the tin is wrecked. So that's going to be pretty well garbage, but there might be a few good pieces. The roof tin is all safe though. It was all strapped down on the trailer, so I got that back. And what I'm working on now, it's still windy today, but good enough to work. I got the ladder sort of braced against that lookout so it shouldn't tip over. But I brought out the ladder jacks and the plank, and I'm starting to work on disassembling the gable ends, so that way I can take those studs out of the gable end, and then rafters should be ready to come down once I get the rest of this side of the roof stripped. But yeah, I'll start picking away on this side. Now, I don't know if they could have put any more nails in these if they tried. You can see all the ones that I couldn't even get. And yeah, just a million nail holes. They sure didn't go easy on them, that's for sure. Quite a ways off the ground here, actually. It's a little sketchy with the wind. Well, the wind really picked up now. I got that gable open. I sure hope the wind doesn't pick this thing up and throw it into my trailer, but I guess we'll see. It should be strong enough. There's lots of nails holding it in yet, so. Alright, so I'm back out here after having my laser eye surgery done. I don't know when this video got posted, but it's a few days after. They told me not to work for a week, but can't do that. So I'm just working on getting this side of the roof done here. I put the 1x8s down gently this time because they were just falling off on the other side and a lot of them broke. So yeah, I think I'll get these stacked on the trailer because it's supposed to get quite windy tomorrow. That's why I left a little bit of the sheathing just so it doesn't blow all the rafters over, probably into that bin, because the wind will come from the west. But yeah, it's getting there. Alright, so I'm sorry for the lack of updates here, but it's just been, you know, quite cold and windy, so, you know, taking my phone out was a bit more difficult to film, and the wind, you know, just wouldn't make for good quality video. But I only have that much sheathing left on the roof, and I'm working on taking rafters down, so I'll go up there and show you what I got going. Now my strategy here was I just took one of these 4x6 whalers that came off of these walls and threw it up here, and then I was able to walk that plank and disconnect all the rafters from the top, and then I just laid them down, and then they mainly all disconnected there. There might be a few nails, but I'll just go pop those off. Then I can pull all these rafters down, slide this plank over that way, take all these ones down, and then the ridge board, I can probably just disconnect those gussets there, pull it down in 2 or 3 pieces, whatever they got it in. I think I'll pull those gable studs out first, though. A lot of them are disconnected already, but I'll pull them right out. Down, and the ends are disconnected over there. Now the wind is blowing this way, so I think the safest way to do this is just to use that rope I have up there and try and pull it. If I can't pull it myself, I might try and hook it to my truck. Might have to move the trailer, but I want to be as far away from that as possible when it falls, because it's just tiny little gussets. I'm surprised that ridge beam hasn't fallen apart already, but everything should be disconnected. The only thing connected are those 2 posts, so it really should just fold this way. So let's give it a try. Alright, I got the rope stretched out, so let's give this a go, see what happens. There it goes. That took a bit of effort, but okay, let's go see the damage. See what we can collect. Jeez, it didn't even break that board. Well, I know that's a good 2x6. Okay, I guess I'll tear that apart. That end came off. Maybe I'll tug it a bit more there just to bring it down a bit further. If I can. Maybe I can't. Yeah, that came down pretty hard. It's gonna be all tangled up. Okay, I'll see what I can disconnect over there. Well, I got the roof off safely. So yeah, I picked up a lot of the material, put it onto the trailer. Got lots of 2x4s. I mean, they're not real nice boards because, you know, they were rafters, so they got a bit of a sag in them. But even still, you know, those will be good for something. Price of lumber is going up this summer again, so I've heard. Possibly worse than last summer, so this might not have been such a bad waste of my time after all. But now it'll just be easy work off the sawhorses, nothing sketchy, just pulling siding off, and then all of the 2x6s inside, from what I can tell, are really nice. Nice and straight. Yeah, like those are definitely some nice boards right there. So yeah, now it'll just be ground level-ish work. Thank you guys for watching part 1. I'll be back for part 2, where we'll get the rest of the building down. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my Facebook and Instagram. And we'll see you next time.